All right, the second Writing Center assignment we're going to work on this week will be assignment number 8, the narrative paragraph. And so this one should be a fun time. You will get to tell us a story about something. So no matter who you are, where you live, or what you do, you have something interesting to tell. And so for this assignment, I want you to narrate or tell a story about an interesting incident that you experienced. Now, likely this will be something where you learned a lesson. Now, how we're going to use this week is that you will turn this in by Thursday. However, the ideas that you generate within your paragraph for this, you are going to use that in a paraphrasing activity that we're going to use for discussion number 3. So keep in mind that whatever topic you choose, you won't necessarily be sharing the entire paragraph, but you will be sharing some of the ideas from it. So just something to keep in mind as you think about your ideas. So to make your ideas clear, you have to show how things are related to one another. So especially when we do a narrative, we really focus on transitions that allow us to talk about time reference. So where are we in terms of the order, the place, the time, and this is the idea of chronological order. And then we also get into some of those issues that we talked about a little bit with the descriptive paragraph about spatial order. Where are we in time and space as well? And so you'll see some of the transitions listed here, and there are going to be plenty more on our Blackboard site, so you can look for those as well. But these are the words that are going to guide us through the story and make sure we understand the order that things happened. Now, the big trick for this is that you have to come up with a topic that you can actually control and that you can manage within a single paragraph. And sometimes that is really difficult to do. So what I'd like to recommend is this pre-writing technique, is to sit back and relax and just kind of let your mind wander about some of those memorable moments in your life. And generally, we kind of go for those things that are where we felt really great, really positive, or things where things kind of seem to collapse around us. But you want to try to focus on something that happened in a single day or even a few minutes. So we're not talking about an entire school year or even a weekend. We want a really limited amount of time so that we can deal with it within a paragraph. And that's what sometimes makes this difficult to do. So let's take a look at some of the sample list, and you'll see this idea of looking at time reference. The time you fell down a flight of stairs. Or for me, I've like just wiped out walking on a sidewalk and fallen and hurt myself. So that's really embarrassing. Maybe you scored a winning goal, or maybe you had a really great game, or maybe it was your last sporting event in high school. That like singular sort of moment. Maybe you had a terrible experience. You drove the wrong way down a one-way street. Maybe you got into a car accident, or even maybe your first date with someone, or maybe it's the worst date. You never know. So all of those things generate a very controlled sort of time frame. So for this assignment, I've seen lots of papers that revolve around getting pulled over, getting caught doing something that you shouldn't have been doing, or really happy days like the day that you graduated, or your graduation party, or something very specific. Prom is another one that we often like to see. So one of the first things you do is kind of create that list of what do you want to maybe write about. Maybe you can generate about 3 things. So try to create this pre-writing and keep things ordered as you turn in, so I can see your process, because that's helpful for me in helping you narrow if you need some help with that. So we want to choose a topic from that list. So you can see here's a sample list. That was based upon a very specific thing, like this, the first date. And so what would you do in that case? So, what were your plans? And you can see that we've thrown something into this, that there's an injury, and that you planned a next date. So you get that kind of basic movement of time throughout. So, of course, we've given you some ways to organize your ideas. And then, of course, you can create that rough draft. And if you have some ideas or some basic rough draft, we can talk more about this on Thursday. It's not due until Thursday at midnight. But what you'll normally find out is if you choose the right sort of topic, something that has a decent lesson to it, something you can understand, then this makes it that much easier to work on. And so here are some of the topic sentences. Again, you want your topic sentence to clearly indicate what story are you going to tell, and then also is it going to be something positive or negative for that. And then, of course, work through your final draft. And as you look through your final draft, go back through and really, did you actually find and connect to all of those references of time? So you'll see, in order to give you some idea of what this looks like, notice the topic sentence is underlined, but then we have things like Friday night, Thursday, all morning, lunchtime, at last, then. So we didn't use the same transition each time, but we moved it throughout. So you can be specific with the time, you're welcome to do that. So, noon on Friday, whatever that might be. All right. So have some fun with this. We'll talk more about it in class, and I look forward to finding out what your story is.